Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a closer look at the 16 finalists of the European Tree of the Year 2023. Apple Tree Colony from Królewec, Ukraine. The apple tree occupies an area of 0.1 hectares. It's been a long time since it lost the main trunk. There are now 15 small trunks that have grown into the ground. The feature of the apple tree is the ability to root itself when one of the trunks dies. So far, no one has succeeded in transplanting an apple tree to another. People say it heals. Walks in the garden relieve fatigue, and apples rejuvenate. The apple colony survived 2 world wars, the Holodomor of 1932-33 and the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Common oak, dragon oak, Slovakia. The tree resembles a sitting dragon. Although his bark is rough and scarred, everyone feels safe around him. Hidden in the forest, it has protected the locals for centuries. From the first settlers who helped build the nearby Pajštun Castle, through merchants and immigrants from Croatia. He also oversaw the construction of the Forest Railway, which has long outlived its usefulness. Logging is currently taking place in its vicinity. Hopefully, the dragon oak will be saved for future generations as well. Eucalyptus of Contige, Portugal. Described by the University of Aveiro as the largest classified tree in Portugal, it is located on the old National Road, EN 229. Its planting dates back to 1878 when the Donadius Road was opened. It may have belonged to the neighboring families Garcia de Mascarenas, Rio de Moinhos, and Javier do Amaral Carvalho from the country, who married in the 19th century. The monumentality of the tree forced its care, so that the profile of the road gave it the bow it deserved. Oak Fabricant, Poland. This is one of the most original trees in Poland, a symbol of longevity and wisdom. Its unique shape attracts visitors to the park Klepacz in Lodz. One of its branches is S-shaped and is over 20 meters long. Its canopy reaches an impressive 33 meters. In the spring, we can admire sapphire meadows around the oak, full of glories of the snow and Siberian squirrels, enhancing the noble nature of the tree. Palermo Botanical Gardens giant ficus, Italy. Introduced in 1845, it is the progenitor of the great Italian ficus trees. The trunk is formed of stems and aerial roots that have merged over time. It develops vertically but extends laterally with large branches supported by columnar aerial roots that turn into tabular roots on the ground. There are as many as 44 secondary stems, some with a circumference of over 3 meters, supporting 11 large branches with horizontal development and a canopy covering an area of almost 3,000 square meters. Plane tree, Bulgaria. The tree is the oldest in the Varna region. Its origin dates back to the period of the First Bulgarian Empire, 7th to 11th century. Czech archaeologists and naturalists, the Škorpil brothers, who made a significant contribution to the exploration of Bulgarian history and nature in the post-Ottoman period, mention it in their records. Its trunk has suffered fire damage, yet its crown turns beautifully green every spring. Legend has it that its energy heals all ailments. This makes it a favorite place for the locals. Seja Oak, Latvia. The 500-year-old oak tree holds memories of the people who lived in Seja Manor, of historical events, and of the strongest winds. Its roots run deep, not only in our land, but also in people's hearts. Every year, at the summer solstice, local people gather at the foot of the oak to make a flower ornament in its honor, and celebrate the shortest summer night with songs. Is it a special magic that draws people to the Seja oak? No. Besides the grandeur of the oak, it possesses an unusual serenity that we all long for. Encina of San Roque, Spain. This holm oak has rooted its roots in the Monte de la Redonda de Colindres for 400 years, watching over the Camino Real that runs at its feet. For centuries, it was spared the massive clearing of the forest, promoted by shipyards for shipbuilding. In 1778, it's represented on the plan of the salt route as a main reference. His story is a story of resistance. He didn't succumb to adversity and was neither firewood nor coal nor galleon, but a protective tree of travelers and walkers. The Bridge Plain Tree, Hungary. This 230 to 250-year-old sycamore tree can be found in the historical garden of Tata. It was still young when it fell over due to the wet soil and other natural forces, so it has been growing on the ground leaning over Lake Chequer for more than 200 years. Yet, every spring, it turns green and brings happiness to the hearts of the visitors of the landscape garden. It is more than a tree. It is a sign, a symbol of willpower and the will to live. A message, never give up. The brown cherry pear of Clerken, Belgium. The tree has contributed to Clerken's cultural identity. For many years, this village organized a Pirela Omachang, a procession around the fruit tree. After 20 years of standstill, this will be organized again in August 2023 by the VZW Perenstoot Clerken, the organization that submitted the tree. Throughout history, the pears have been an important symbol for the village, so a street was also named after the tradition, the Pirela Omachang. The Marquis Oak, the Netherlands. It's the classic dilemma of the modern age, nature versus mobility. I am the patriarch of my forest, 30 meters tall, planted around 1800 by the Marquis of Amelisweerd estate. Many have enjoyed my presence since then. But how about the future? My existence is threatened by the expansion of Highway A27. 800 other trees face the same fate. Many alternatives have been presented. All have been rejected despite numerous protests. I consider myself a symbol of resistance against global tree felling. But how much longer do I have? The oak from Drežnica Field, Republic of Croatia. This tree doesn't have a name. It is one of the many ancient oak trees in the karst Drežnica Field in Croatia. The 440-meter altitude makes this forest special. In spring or fall, as if by magic, the field becomes a lake, and only the tips of the highest oaks, such as this one, remain visible. Thanks to its endemic species, the Drežnica Field is part of Natura 2000, but the planned retention, under litigation, means longer cycles of flooding and danger for this tree, the forest, and the whole ecosystem. The pear tree in Drásov, Czech Republic. Near the municipality of Drásov stands a pear tree. Its beauty is known all around, and its resilience is breathtaking. The tree is a true hero, as it grows only 25 meters from the uranium mine that was opened at the end of the 1950s. And the excavated tailings were deposited on a heap near the tree. Fortunately, the mining did not last long, and the edge of the heap stopped only 20 meters from the tree. It is incredible that the pear tree withstood these hard times, and the locals can still enjoy its beauty and juicy fruit. The purple beach of Regi, Estonia. On a small and serene Estonian island, Hiiumaa, in the Baltic Sea, a rare red-leaf beech grows, a resilient, exceptional finding in harsh Nordic conditions. 120 years ago, this tree was set in the garden of the pastorate of the Regi church by a pastor in honor of the birth of his son. Once upon a time, it was a center of community life. Church bells rang, and the tavern buzzed, providing content for several novels, films, and even an opera. Nowadays, tranquility mixes with the vitality of the Regi beach, waiting for guests. The Weeping Beech of Castlemount, France. He culminates in the central hill of a public park, undulating his weeping branches cradled by the northern winds. His elegant giant silhouette has been growing in the sun for over 140 years, but he is not a loner. Named the Beach of Encounters, A lime tree is his nearest friend, and he has numerous visitors. Beloved by locals, witness of history, he inspires beautiful poems. People of Cassel obtained the prestigious Remarkable Tree of France label for him, and he won our hearts nationally. Waverley Abbey Yew, United Kingdom. The winner of the UK Tree of the Year 2022 is a yew perching on the ruins of Waverley Abbey in Surrey, founded 900 years ago by the reforming Cistercian religious order. After the abbey was dismantled in 1536 following the dissolution of the monasteries, the yew tree sprung up and has been a faithful guardian of the ruins for nearly 500 years. It is a spectacular tree, with roots that sprawl out above ground before plunging into the earth. Its multi-stemmed form is dotted with holes, crevices, and areas of decay that provide valuable habitat for wildlife.